Welcome to the channel called CAD with Mr. Hugh, and in today's video we'll be drawing a AutoCAD line at an angle, and this angle will be to the horizontal or to the vertical axis, right? So on a graph paper, the horizontal axis would be represented by the x coordinates, and the vertical line would be represented by the y-axis. All right, if I was using a graph paper in math. All right, now the first thing you need to do is you can set your grid. So we type in the word grid, enter, and the last drawing that I had previous to today's video, the grid spacing was set to 10 and 10 millimeters, that is. All right, escape. Now, another thing I want to do, I want to check the units, right? I want to check the new units. So type in the word units, press enter. All right, so this dialog box will come up, right? So the length, we're gonna draw it in today's video using decimal. You can choose any length type that you want. The degrees, we're gonna be measuring the angle by using degrees, and the precision would be 0, right? Over here, the length here is in 4 decimal places after the decimal point. So we're gonna change that and put it to 1 decimal place in today's video, right? And if we're happy with it, and here we have millimeters, we can choose feet, inches, yards, any measurement that you want. But in today's video, we're using millimeters. So press OK. So the first thing you're gonna do to draw a line in AutoCAD, you need to first set up your units. So if you're drawing in imperial, you would go and change it to the imperial measurement, which is either feet, inches, yards, yes. While in metric, you would have centimeter, millimeter, or meters. Is that clear? Good. So we'll be drawing a line. Now, there are the two main ways you can draw a line. You can click on this icon, yes, and that would um, enable you to draw a line. So if you read this down here, this is called the command line. So if you read down here, it is asking you specify the first point for your line. So a line will have 2 points, the start and the end. So the AutoCAD is asking for the start. Now, what I'm gonna do down here, if you click on these 9 dots, this turns the snap on or off. And let me show you. So the cursor will align itself to the intersection of the grid. All right, so there it is. I'm scrolling in and out the wheel and my mouse, right? So here you can see that the cursor is adhering to the corner of the grid. We had set the grid to 10 millimeters. All right, so we click on this point. Now down here we have ortho. The ortho allows you to draw lines vertical and horizontal, okay? But because you want a line at an angle in today's video, then we can turn off the ortho so we can visualize the line, right? So we can click on another point, right, on the drawing and press enter. All right? So let me draw. And to move over the drawing, what you do, you press this hand here and you can pan it, okay? Or press escape to get rid of, to exit the pan. You can zoom your mouse wheel, okay? So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna draw a rectangle, right? So let me just draw a rectangle there. There, enter, right? So I'm going to draw a line at an angle to a point, okay? So look now. Now there's something called object snap, right? Which allows you to snap to different points. So if I click here, these are the different object snaps. So we have it with, when you select like a line command, you can either go at the end point of the object, the middle, the center of the circle, the quadrant, which is outside, or to see it, you can click down here and this dialog box will come up, right? If you want to clear all, you click this. If you want to select all, you click this button that says select all. Are we gonna press OK or close? Right. So once you enable this would be an intersection, right? And see that would be an endpoint. So the computer is telling us an endpoint. So I'm gonna draw a line at an angle to a given drawing. And the given drawing I'm speaking about is a rectangle. So we go either type the word L, and that's a shortcut for line, or you type in the full word line, press enter at the command line. It's asking for the first point, so we can click here, and I'm going to draw it to the midpoint. Enter. All right? Press enter to get back the last command. I'm going to go again from this starting point, and I'm going to go to the end point. Enter. And that is how you would draw an AutoCAD line at an angle, right? Now, this is when you're putting it to an object. All right, let me draw another line. So press enter and get back the last command. I can click the midpoint here. Midpoint. And I can come to this midpoint. All right. So that is how you get a line. An AutoCAD line at an angle to the horizontal or vertical on a given drawing. All right. So the other way you can draw a line, you can go line, you click the starting position where it can be on the drawing or on a point on the grid. All right. So we click here, we're going to put at. So relative to this point, at that point, we want the line to be 180 millimeters. You're going to type the less than sign. That is how you would tell the angle, and then you can make it 45 degrees, press enter. Right? So if we press enter again, this is our line drawn at the length is 180 millimeters and the angle is 45 degrees. Okay? So let me do it on the rectangle. All right, so here we are. Let me do it on the rectangle. So in AutoCAD, if you look at in AutoCAD, the default reading of the angle is, let me show you. Line, gonna turn on ortho. Right. It's measuring from this line, and let me label here A. Text, single line text. I'm gonna choose this as the starting position. I'm gonna enter 8 as the height. Enter. So this is A. Alright, so look now. AutoCAD is measuring from A in an anti-clockwise direction, and 0 would be over here. So let me label that for you. Click here, enter, enter. So it's 0 is here, right? So it's measuring 0 degrees from here going in an anti-clockwise direction. So let me draw the line for you now. So we go line, escape, line from the midpoint, right? Now I need to turn off ortho. Ortho will give us only horizontal line and a vertical line. So look now. I'm going to make the line 210 millimeter. No, I don't need to type at. So we type the word at relative to this point, that midpoint, at 210 less than 60 degrees. The less than is to indicate to AutoCAD that we're specifying the angle. Press enter. Enter again to close the command. So this line is drawn at 60 degrees to the horizontal. Is that clear? Let me do another one. Line, this intersection, we're going to type at that point, relative to that point, we're going to draw another line 110 millimeters long, less than sign. Gonna put it at 120 degrees, and guess where I think it would be on the other side. Enter. All right. So let me indicate the angle for you and show you that this is the 60 is measuring from here. See, 60. To zoom up, there's the 60. And if you measure the other angle from this line to this line, see? Let me put it here. So if we zoom up, there it is 120. So it's measuring the angle from this horizontal line, right? In an anti-clockwise direction. You can go and change it, but I use it as is. I don't bother to change it, all right? Now we can enable dynamic input, meaning at the cursor, here my cursor, the dynamic input is turned off. So we can turn it on by pressing F12. So we look for F12 on our keyboard, and depending where it is on here, there will be the top set of keys, and sometimes you have to press function to get it. So I'm going to press mine. So once you turn it on, and when you go to line or you use a command, and when you see now here, you can see that the dimension is there, right? So if you click on it, you can actually move the line, and you'll actually see the length of the line and the degrees. Okay? So you can use the dynamic input to draw an AutoCAD line at an angle. So the length, if you want the length, you can specify the length 100. And you can move, you can press enter to get the line. Press enter. So let's do that again. Line, press enter to get the last command. I'm gonna put it here. Right? So I move till I see the angle that I want. Suppose I want 40 degrees, right? Then 40, I just type in the length 200, press enter, and there's a line drawn at an angle. Press enter. Okay? So this is how you would use the dynamic input to draw an AutoCAD line at an angle. All right. Now, remember I mentioned about the coordinates. If you want to see the coordinates, as you move the cursor, if you click here down the customization menu, here it is, says coordinates at the top. So if you check on it, you'll see the coordinates. Click on the workspace to get anywhere in the black space, the workspace, and there you can see the coordinates moving if you want to know what the coordinates are. So if I put my cursor here, that is the coordinate down here. The next way you can draw a line is by coordinates. All right. So if you, let me type in, let me select again, line, and let us type 50, comma, 50. Enter. All right. So look now. Remember the graph paper? We're going to come back. So look now. We're going to go back. Can scroll this. Scroll. Ah, look. Remember I told you about the graph paper? Good. So look now. I can use my pan handle to slide over. Remember the graph paper? So look now. 0 would be where the x-axis and the y-axis meets. Right? And then 50 millimeters, let me zoom up and show you. See? 50 millimeters would be at that corner. So if we want a point up here, somewhere up here, we'd have to type in the next point. See, if you read the command line, it says specify the next point. So we can type at. No, well, if we know the coordinate, we don't need to use at. So I'm going to use the coordinate in the next example. So that's 50 millimeters, right? So if I wanted to go across horizontal, the coordinate would be 50, comma 0. Yes? So I want the next coordinate to be, it's a graph paper, So we have 50 there. So if we count here, this is, could make it about 150 as the x-axis and 100 for the y-axis. So we're gonna type 150 from the original axis where the x-axis means the y-axis, right? Comma, and we're going up. That was 50, right? So it'd have to be about 100 to let it go. Enter. There it is. Press enter. So that is by coordinates. All right, let's go again. So we're going to go again. Line. We're looking at how we draw a line in AutoCAD at an angle to the horizontal or vertical. Horizontal or vertical plane, like the graph paper, x-axis and y-axis. So let us choose a point. Choose there. All right. So another thing we can go relative to the point. So we can put in the actual measurement. I mean the actual coordinates relative to this starting position. So we can type at. So we don't need to know the coordinate that this is at. We don't need to work out the coordinate. We just put at, and we'll put gonna put some coordinates. So at 80, comma 90, enter, and there it is. That's by absolute coordinates. All right, you put the at sign. Is that clear? All right, so that is how you would um draw a line. You can draw it to. So I could draw a line from here, then here, from there to that point. Enter. Can draw a line from here, and we can see, all right, we're gonna draw it down here. Now, remember, AutoCAD is measuring 0 degrees this way, so we'd have to measure all the way down here and come. So we're gonna type at relative to that point. We're gonna go at three 200 millimeters long, less than sign an angle. I'm gonna put 330. Enter. Press enter to close the last command. So this brings us to the end of today's video. In today's video, we looked at how do we draw an AutoCAD line at an angle to the horizontal and vertical axis. So thanks for joining. And in the next video, we'll be looking at engineering drawing. So take care until we meet again. Bye. Thanks for watching the video. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, and share.